Today on Nobius AI Briefing, the agent stack just got a massive upgrade with new tools for memory, visibility, and cost control. We'll talk about Qualcomm's big moves in AI agent chips for hyperscalers, and I'll share one practical experiment you can run this week to get a handle on your LLM spending. Nobius AI Briefing brought to you by Proactive AI. Welcome back. I'm your host, Vikash, and this is where builders get straightforward AI news without the fluff. Alright, let's dive in. This week feels like a significant inflection point for anyone building with AI agents. We're seeing a new wave of tools that are making these agents far more practical for production. First up, we've got Slowave 0.11.1, which just shipped with a local memory layer for stateful agents. This is a big deal because it means your AI tools can now maintain persistent context across sessions without constantly hitting an LLM API or uploading data to the cloud. In plain English, your agents can finally remember things about a user or a workflow without you having to manually feed them that context every single time. It even uses these cool brain-inspired embeddings to capture and retrieve user preferences, and it integrates with popular coding tools like Claude Code and Cursor. For builders, the interesting part is this immediately translates to a faster, cheaper, and more private user experience because you're not paying for token rereads. Think about the implications for personalized apps or even complex internal workflows. Lower token overhead is absolutely critical for cost conscious products, especially as agents become more central. It's like giving your agent a dedicated short term memory that lives right there with it, reducing dependency on expensive remote brainpower. Next, let's talk about Ghostlog v.1. So, this is a tool that's going to be music to the ears of any engineering leader trying to manage AI generated code. Ghostlog is a terminal UI that monitors your Git repositories in real time. And here's the clever bit. It groups AI generated commits into bursts for review. So when your coding agent goes on a spree and churns out a bunch of code, Ghostlog helps you see it all together, making it traceable and auditable. And get this, it includes a CI gate mode that can actually block code based on complexity or test coverage thresholds. How cool is that? For builders, this gives you much needed visibility into your AI agent's behavior during development, which, let's be honest, has been a black box for many teams. Being able to ship AI generated code to production with confidence is a game changer. And Ghostlog helps you enforce quality gates and compliance without needing a human to painstakingly review every line. It's about bringing rigor to AI development. Also, in the realm of making agents production ready, we have CostReporter 0.1.0 body. This is a real-time LLM cost optimization tool built with a Rust core and a Python API. Now, if you've ever scaled an LLM powered application, you know how quickly costs can spiral. CostReporter gives you detailed breakdowns by operation, which is incredibly granular and useful. But it goes further. It recommends cheaper models, like suggesting Haiku over Opus for certain tasks, and it even detects opportunities for prompt caching. The developers claim it can achieve up to a 50% cost reduction without sacrificing performance. Raises eyebrows. That's a bold claim, and we should always take up to X% with a grain of salt, but even a fraction of that is huge. For builders, granular and actionable spend insights are absolutely critical for scaling profitably. And the idea of automated model recommendations and caching detection means optimization can become a continuous rather than an episodic process. This isn't just about saving money, it's about building a sustainable business model around LLM usage. Finally, we have some interesting news on the hardware front. Qualcomm just landed significant hyperscaler deals for AI agent chips. The Motley Fool reported that Qualcomm announced 3 major deals with hyperscalers to supply custom silicon specifically for AI agents. This isn't just about general purpose GPUs anymore. They're even delivering a next gen CPU optimized for AI agents to Meta starting in late 2028. Qualcomm is targeting a whopping $15 billion in data center chip revenue by 2029. What does this mean for us builders? It signals a clear shift towards silicon that's specifically optimized for agent workloads, not just generic GPU compute. We should anticipate new hardware ecosystems emerging and new optimization targets over the long term. This isn't an immediate product impact for most of us, but it's a strategic signal that the industry is betting big on the future of agents, right down to the silicon. Now let's take a deep dive into what I think is the most important story here. The combination of Vikash Slowave 0.111, Ghostlog V1.1 and CostReporter 0.1. Together, these three releases signal what I'm calling the agent developer toolkit moment. What happened is we saw three distinct but complementary tools emerge, each tackling a major pain point in building and deploying AI agents. Slowave brought local, persistent memory, making agents smarter and more context aware without breaking the bank on tokens. Ghostlog delivered crucial visibility and quality control over AI generated code, something we've been desperately needing. And CostReporter gave us granular, real time cost optimization, turning LLM spend from a mystery into an actionable metric. These aren't minor updates, they're foundational pieces of a mature development stack. Why this matters right now is that agents are moving from being cool experiments to being serious, production grade components. Think back to early 2026. Agent frameworks were notoriously fragile. Teams constantly ran into issues like context loss, making agents forget what they just did, or audit gaps for code that was just poofed into existence by an AI. And of course, there was the spiraling LLM spend that made many projects unviable. These new tools directly address those exact pain points. They're making agents more reliable, more auditable, and more cost effective. It's the difference between flying a plane by the seat of your pants and having a fully instrumented cockpit. So, who should care about this? Honestly, everyone building in AI. Founders should see this as a green light to explore agent first products. The barrier to entry just got significantly lower because you don't need to build bespoke infrastructure to manage memory, observability, or costs. These tools allow you to focus on your core product value. We, which product managers called Biden, can now design agent experiences with much greater confidence, knowing that personalization via Slowave and cost efficiency via CostReporter are far more achievable. Engineering leaders will find Ghostlog indispensable for integrating AI generated code into their CI CD pipelines and maintaining quality standards. And indie hackers, this is huge for you too. These open source tools mean you can build sophisticated, stateful, and cost aware agents without needing a massive budget or a full dev team. They democratize advanced agent capabilities. How I think about it as a builder is this: for a long time, building with agents felt a bit like constructing a building with no blueprints, no cost estimates, and memory problems where the walls kept forgetting they were walls. Now, with tools like Slowave, Ghostlog, and CostReporter, we're finally getting proper architectural plans, real time budgeting, and scaffolding that helps us see what's happening. The value to me is clearly consolidating at the application layer, while the underlying hardware like Qualcomm's new chips evolves in parallel. These software tools empower us to do more with the models we already have and to do it more efficiently and reliably. The mental model here is that we're moving from the wild west of agent hacking to the industrial revolution of agent engineering. My Nobius take here is that this is real. This isn't hype. These are practical, tangible tools solving real problems. However, we should be realistic about their immediate limitations. Slowave's local memory is fantastic for session level context, but it's not a full blown knowledge base retrieval system. Ghostlog's CI gates are powerful filters, but they're not a replacement for human code review, they're an enhancement. And CostReporter's up to 50% savings is aspirational. You'll need to validate those numbers for your specific workload. But make no mistake, this collective stride in the agent development stack is significant. If you want one practical takeaway from today's episode, here it is: experiment. Audit your agent's token spend. This is probably the most direct way to impact your bottom line and gain immediate insight. Here's how to try it in under 60 minutes. First, install CostReporter. It's available on PyPI, so a quick pip install PCostReporter should get you started. Second, integrate it into a specific agent workflow you're already running or are about to build. You don't need to retrofit your entire application, just pick one component or interaction, run it for about 24 hours or even through a few intense testing sessions. Third, review the operation level costs that CostReporter provides. Identify your top 3 cost drivers. Are you over relying on a specific prompt? Is a particular model too expensive for a routine task? Then test out its recommendations. Can you swap in a cheaper model like Claude Haiku for certain operations instead of Opus, or implement some of the suggested prompt caching strategies? Why this specific experiment is worth your time right now is simple. LLM costs can be a silent killer for AI products. You might be burning cash on redundant prompts or inefficient model choices without even realizing it. By spending less than an hour setting this up, you'll gain crucial transparency and identify immediate opportunities for optimization that could dramatically improve your product's unit economics. It's about building smarter, not just faster. That's it for today's No BS AI briefing. If this helped, follow the show in your podcast app and share it with one builder you know. And if you've got questions or topics you want covered, connect with me on LinkedIn and send them over. See you in the next briefing.